Hello.
Welcome back. So we're going to do hopefully a very short recording right now, which is the second part of Advent of Code 2020, Day 7, with Dad and Kids coding. So the uh, the previous recording was about we have these bags within bags within bags, and we wanted to know what bags could enclose the gold bag, whatever it is, shiny gold bag that we have, and find all the ones that could be the outer color for that. Now we're going to do this the reverse, and now we're going to start with this shiny gold bag and see how many bags it has to contain inside it. So yesterday when we looked at this, we didn't pay any attention to the numbers about how many bags things could contain. Today we're going to have to do that. So we're going to have to go and change that to support this. So I already put the test function or the unit test in here for this, just because it's just mostly busy work and you don't need to watch us do that. So now we're ready to actually run the test. And sure enough, we didn't have a day 7b, so we'll create that. Put it in Advent of Code. And now we need to do a couple things here. So let's just save this and go over here because it's a couple things we need to do. So let's look at the day 7 code. And so the day 7 code, we looped through and we did all this this establishing the rules and building up the rule base. And then after we had done that, we called, just checked to see how many bags could be the enclosing bags. So we're going to have to load the rules the same as yesterday. So what we should do is split out the rule loading into a new method. So let's just call this day 7 load rules. And we'll take the rules, we'll ignore the target. And now we're just going to do this and save that as our load rules method. Now we'll go to day 7 and we'll day 7a, and we'll replace all this code with just self load rules, self load rules, and then do this the same as before. So let's just verify that that works. Go to the tests, run day 7a, and it still works. Okay, so we're back to now day 7b. So we're going to do the same thing as day 7a. And we're going to load the rules, and then we're going to check something else. So let's see what we can have here. So 7b. So this was called rules, and we called this target. Okay, so let's worry about the load rules method first, and let's just put a self halt here for now. So the loading of rules is a little bit more complicated than we had yesterday. So yesterday we looked up to see whether when we went through, we said that this bag could be enclosed by this other bag. So what we should be doing is in the other bag we should be adding a reference to this bag. So let's go over and do that. It's in luggage and can be enclosed by. Okay, so we had this this set called enclosing that contained all the bags that could enclose us, and we should also tell the luggage, the other piece of luggage, that it can enclose or requires enclosing requires bags. Let's just call it that. But we actually, I'm going to do it different way than this, so let's just undo this for a moment. Sorry about that. Let's go back over to the admin code. So loading the rules. So I'm going to flip these around. So rather than calling can be enclosed by, I'm going to flip it around and I'm going to call the enclosing bag and I'm going to pass it. So I'm going to say that the enclosing bag, if it's not nil, then the enclosing bag is going to enclose and then we'll put the number of, and then the bags that we're enclosing. Okay, so similar to yesterday, but what we now need is we actually need the count as well. So we actually need an additional field. So I could add prev, but that's getting a little tedious. Maybe we should call these color, adjective, and number. Okay, and we'll set all of these to initially to
one could be shade, you could call it that.
Could call it shade, okay, yeah. Okay, so I'll call it shade instead. Okay. And so we'll set shade to that and number also to nil. Then this will be shade, shade, and shade. Before we do this, we should set the number to be the shade. Okay, so we're keeping track of 3 values: the shade, or the number, then the shade, then the color. Okay, and then when we find something that starts with bag, then we have those 3 values there. And so the number is a string right now, so let's do this as number. Okay, so now the enclosing bag is going to enclose some number of some bag. So we could add that directly, or we could do it by running the test. So when we run day 7 now, it's going to get this error because we don't have this enclose of message. So we'll create this enclose of message and we'll put it in luggage. And so we have enclose an integer of a luggage. So there's 2 things we want to do here. One is we want to store this in something called, let's say, contains. And we want to add here a contains is going to be a bag. So let's go and look at what the methods of bag are. And we have this add with occurrences. So adds new object with an integer number of times to the receiver. So let's do that. So contains add with occurrences so we're going to add add a luggage with occurrences and integer. And then we want to tell a luggage that it can be enclosing, that we are one of the enclosing bags for it. Okay, so that's fine. We'll make contains be an instance variable. And now we have to interrupt this because we have to initialize the contains. So we'll just close this and go back over here in luggage, initialize, and just along with enclosing we'll have contains, and we'll initialize this to a bag. Okay, so let's go back over to our tests and run day 7 again. And reading a number failed. Okay, so we're somewhere here we were asked to do as number. And so in as number, we were given a string contain. Okay, so let's go back to our rules. What does our line look like? Our line looks like contain no other bags. Okay, so there would be no other that we have to handle specially. So if we come across this faded blue bag, it can contain no other bags. So if number is contain, then we don't have to do anything because this can't be in anything else. So if number is equal to contain, if false, then we'll do this. Otherwise, we're done with this. So let's save that. Have to revert, yeah, that's fine. And we'll just close this window and try again. Got 0 instead of 4, which means it didn't find any of our sets here, which is kind of weird. So let's restart this method, and we'll go through a step through the code and see if we can figure out what's going wrong. So the first thing we do is we call load rules. So let's step into that, and we'll bring the inspector up so that we can see what's going on here. Okay, so let's step through. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through this first line and see what's happening and see if we can figure out why. So we set enclosing bag and number and shade and color all to nil. Okay, then we start going through this line. So this line says light red bags contain 1 bright white bag, 2 muted yellow bags. Okay, so let's see where this goes wrong. So we're going to loop through here. And the first word, so let's just pull this up so we can actually see it here. So word is light, which is not surprising because it's light red bags. So we're going to step through quickly so it's not a bag. So we copy these values over and then we go to the next one. The next one is red. So we're going to skip through again. And of course you can pause this and see what we're talking about. Step through again. The next word is bags. So it does begin with bag. We check to see if enclosing bag is nil, and it is. So we're going to assign it to a new bag called whatever, light red. So we'll step through that. Assign to enclosing bag, and then we're back to get the next word. The next word is contain. So we'll skip through this. So we copy these over. It's kind of weird, but we don't care because we only really do anything when we come to a bag. So this is not a bag. We'll skip through again. And here's the number 1. So now we've got, we found the 1. So I'll step through again. It's not a bag, it's bright. So we'll loop through. And this time word is white. So at the end of this, we now have number is 1, shade is bright, and word and color is white. Okay, which is what we want. So now, and the word, when we step through again, is going to be bag. Okay, so we've got bag. So we come in here and we say, is enclosing bag nil? No, it's not. So, is number equal to contain? No, it isn't. So we'll step through that. And we'll skip over converting number to a number. And we'll skip over getting the bag called whatever it is, bright white. And now we're going to call enclosing bag and tell it to enclose the number of these bags. And this is the first place that we've changed code here. So this is likely where something has gone wrong somewhere in here. So we skip into enclosing bag and enclose an integer. So it's saying enclose 1 of some kind of luggage. So we add it to the bag and then we call enclosing bags. Okay, let's step into that. And no, this is trying to build up the set of all the bags that could enclose us. Oh, this is the wrong method. Okay, so let's go back to enclose of, and let's see if we can figure out what method it's supposed to be. Oh, it's, I'm just going to put this up here. It's, so it's not enclose of, or it's not enclosing bags. It's actually can be enclosed by, because that's the one that adds the luggage to the enclosing. Okay, so that's the problem here. So instead of enclosing bags, this should be can be enclosed by. Okay. So we'll just get rid of this and we'll rerun the test and see if it works. And it works. Okay, so that was our problem. We just forgot the correct name of the method we wanted.
Yeah.
So day 7a now works.
Using a wrench as a hammer.
Right. So day 7a works again. So we're back to having it working. That's one of the values of having these tests, is that I can refactor the code, because that's what I did. I moved code around to keep track of more information. And now I'm ready to look at day 7b. So let's try running it and see what happens. Okay, so we come to our halt. We've loaded the rules, and so now we want to find out how many bags does this bag have to include. So we don't want to call enclosing bags here. We want to call something else. So it's the bag called target. So that's the one we're looking for, shiny gold. And so what we want is something like encloses bags. Let's call it that. And we'll keep a set of those enclosed bags, and we'll then calculate the size of that set, and that will be our answer. So let's take this away. Don't need to halt now. Save this and proceed. Of course, we immediately get an error saying that enclosing bags doesn't exist, so let's create that in luggage. Okay, so now we have a variable called contains that tells me all the things that this contains. So what we want to do is, so contains is a bag. So let's take the contains, and that's what I want to do something with that. Let's inspect what it is. So in this case, the bag, it has 2 items in it and 3 occurrences total. So we want this number of how many bags the enclosed thing can contain. Now, I trust that we don't have any cycles in this data. In other words, it doesn't say that a red bag contains a blue bag and a blue bag contains a red bag, because we'd never finished in that case. So that means that this can actually be quite a bit simpler than the other one. The other one, we had to keep a set of values because there were different ways that a particular bag could show up, and we wanted to treat them differently. So this one's a little different. All we need to know is how many bags. So we can actually go back here, and encloses bags doesn't have to have be passed a set. And let's actually change this. Encloses bags. What should we call this? Number of enclosed bags? Yeah, let's try that. Number of enclosed bags. And we're just going to return an integer here, so we don't need this anymore.
We'll currently erase number of encloses bags.
Enclosed bags, okay. Okay, so let's call it that instead. And so again, let's proceed, and so we're going to have to delete that other method that we created because we don't actually want that. But now, okay, so we're in here and we have contains. So contains, so it's a bag. So we want to find a good method for bags that will let us, so let's go look for bag. Yeah, I know it's confusing with bags and luggage, but there you go. So we have do with occurrences. So what this does is it iterates over the receiver and applies a 2-argument block on the element and its occurrences, which is exactly what we want. So there's going to be 2 parameters. The first of one is going to be the element, and the second of which is going to be its occurrences, the number of occurrences. So, and I forgot what that was called. Was it called with occurrences or occurrences? With occurrences. Nope, wasn't called that. Was it called?
Do with incurring?
No, something. Okay, so I sometimes I do not remember things. Add with, no, not add. Do with occurrences. Oh, you were right. It was called do with occurrences. Go figure. Okay, so contains do with occurrences. Usually they're end in do, so that's why I get confused, but not in this case. Okay, so we have a piece of luggage, and we're inside luggage, so
oh no. How do we get out?
So let's just call it enclosed and number. Okay, so so we need to keep track of a count. Count 0. And then we're going to, when we're done, we're going to return count. But meanwhile, we're going to loop through all of our occurrences and we're going to add to count the number times the number of occurrences of the enclosed bag. So the enclosed bag and what we want is the number of occurrences. Number of closed bags. There we go. And I think that's all we have to do, except we want to count this bag as well, so we want to add 1 here. So we'll start off at 1. We'll add the number times the number of enclosed bags in that bag, and hopefully that will give us the right number. So let's just try this, save, and proceed. And we got 216 instead of 32. Oh, that's not good. Huh.
A bit more than there.
I think we need a simpler test, because right now our test has too many things to follow through all the details. So I'm going to take a really small subset of this. So I'm going to take this. And what will we do? Let's say that a shiny gold bag contains 1 dark olive bag and 2 faded blue bags. And dark olive bag contains, right, that should work out okay. So let's take this one out and take these out. So now we have a shiny gold bag, contains 1 dark olive bag and 2 faded blue bags. So that should be, I think that should be 1, 2, 3. Those don't contain anything else. But this contains 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think this should be 10. See if I got that right. So we would have 1 dark olive bag, so that's 1, and it contains 3 faded blue bags, so that's 4, plus 4 dotted black bags, which is 8. Neither of those have any bags inside them, and we also have 2 more faded blue bags, so that should be 10. I think that's right. Okay, so let's see, run our tests, and presumably that test will fail, and if it does, then yes, it did. We got 18 instead of 10.
And
Okay,
compared to our previous.
but now we have a smaller case, so it's easier to track down the details.
So 6, 20.
Actually, I'm gonna make even a simpler test, because I don't want to have to track down through so much stuff. So let's copy and paste that, and so now I'm just going to say that this contains 1 dotted black bag. I'm going to take out the dark olive, basically. Too complicated. Dotted black bag, and put that there. So now I should have it contains, and does it contains or does it include let's go back and read. Okay, faded blue bag contains 0 other bags. Vibrant plum bag contains 10 other bags, 5 faded blue bags, and 6 dotted black bags. Dark olive bag contains 7 other bags, 3 faded blue. So the shiny bag must contain 1 dark olive bag and 7 bags within it, right? Plus 2 vibrant plum bags, and the 11 bags within each of those. So 1 plus 1 times 7 plus 2 times 2 plus 7. So we don't count the gold bag itself, but we do count the ones inside it. Okay. So let's see.
Are we sure? Because if you look at that equation here, that's 1 plus.
So that's for the dark olive bag.
Okay.
Plus 1, because there's 1 dark olive bag which has 7 bags within it, so that's this. Plus 2 for the vibrant plum bag, plus 2 times the number of bags within each of those.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so this should have gold bag contains 1 dotted black bag and 2 faded blue bags. So this should be a total of 3. Okay, so there's a really simple test. So let's try that. Let's see. And the first test passed. Okay, so that's good. So we got, oops, where's my, oh, I didn't save my code. Yep, that doesn't work. Save, there we go. Now let's try it again. And the first one failed. Okay, so I got 1 more than I was supposed to get, probably because I got the shiny gold one. That's my guess. So let's restart. And step into this. So we load the rules. I think the loading the rules is right, so I'm going to step over that. And let's bring up the inspector so we can see the values. And so we have a bag called target, and we're going to step over that and then go in and ask it how many enclosed bags it has. So we start with 1, so that's the bag itself, and then we're going to count the enclosed bags. So this one actually does the right thing. It goes through and calculates the number, but we weren't supposed to include the gold bag at the top, so we're going to go back here and return this minus 1. Okay, that will get the first one working at least. Okay, so that got the first bag right. Now, let's see. With all the above examples, so we get 32 bags. I wish they'd given a simpler example. Do they have a simpler example? No, this one has 126 bags. That's way too much. We don't want to have to. So, see if we think that we have the right number here. So, shiny gold bag contains a dark olive bag and 2 faded blue bags. That's 2 for the faded blue bags because they don't contain anything else, plus a dark olive bag, so that's 3. A dark olive bag contains 3 of those, that's 6. And 4 dotted black bags, so it should be equal to 10. Okay, that seems pretty correct. Okay, so let's restart again. Step over. And so now we're going to do the second one, the one with I just talked about, it's supposed to return 10. Step over the rules, step over this, go into number of enclosed bags. Okay, so let's inspector. So we have count as 1, And then we're going to go through contains do with occurrences. So the first one we get is that we have a bag so we're in the first sub bag. Okay, so number is 1, and now we want to know the number of enclosed bags. Step over that, step into this. And here we have step through. Okay, so here we have contains a bag with 7 items. So we'll step through this. Might have been helpful if I'd given the bags a name so we knew which bag we were in. That might have been better. But in any case, we have a piece of luggage, and there are 4 of them, which we could go back and see our test case. Let's just move this over a bit so we can see our test cases. So this is the one with 4 dotted black bags. So dotted black bags have nothing in them. So let's step over this, step into this. Ah, I see. Because we're getting, oh no, that's right. So we come back with the so this has contains is empty, and so we're going to skip over this, and count is 1, and we're going to return that. And here we're multiplying the number 4 times 1 and adding it to count. So count is now 5, which should be what we got here. So we've just done the olive bags, and we've counted the dark olive bag and the 4 dotted black bags. So let's step over again. And this is the faded blue bags, because we have 3 of them. So I stepped over that. So that's 3, and step again. And so count is now 8, which should be the 3 faded blue bags, the 1 dotted bag, plus the dark olive bag. Okay, so we step over that, return the count was 8, and now we're back to the top level, where we had, and count is 1, so that was the dark olive bag that we just did. Step through again, and count is 16. How did count get to be 16? Well, that's not good. Missing something. Okay.
Oh.
So let's
I'd like to make a joke, but YouTube's terms of services would not allow me. Wouldn't
So-
even be that offensive, too.
we're going to restart and try this again. Let's go out to this outer do occurrences. Do with occurrences. Oops, sorry. Number of close back. Okay. So this is the one that got called directly. So this is the shiny gold bag. So let's restart this one and step through. Okay, so count as 1. And we have an enclosed bag, 1 item, 1 count. So this is our dark olive bag. Okay, so I'm just going to step over this, just calculate, go through and calculate and see. So there were 8 bags inside, so when we add that and store it in the count, it's 16.
Must be counting it twice.
I'm missing something. Let's go through this again. No, I need to go out of the back to number of close back. Restart this. One more time. Okay. So step through.
All I can think of is that it's counting it twice.
It's almost like that, isn't it? Okay, so we're going through the contains. The contains is a bag. It has 1 occurrence of, which we have from over here, 1 occurrence of a dotted black bag and 2 faded blue bags.
216 would be a multiple of 32.
No, I don't think so. Oh, 224 is. So, step through, okay. So we do our occurrences, and now we're here. So we have 1, number is 1, and enclosed is a piece of luggage. And that piece of luggage must be the dark olive bag, because so I'm going to step over that, and I'm going to step into this. And here we have oh, I stepped over it. So, okay, so top of stack is 8, number is 1, count is 1, and so we step over the multiplication, and then top is 16. Oh, okay, I made a classic non-small talker mistake here. So let's just go back here.
Now I want to quote The Princess Bride.
So the problem that I have here is that in many languages, multiplication has a higher precedence than addition. So in most languages, this multiplication would happen first before it did the count. But in small talk, it's strictly left to right. And so I just got bitten by this fairly standard mistake that people make. So now I'm going to reset number of enclosed bags. I'm going to restart, which I just did because I saved it. And now I proceed and I get the right answer.
You fool! You fell for one of the classic blunders.
Indeed. Thank you for Princess Bride quote. Okay, so, and I got the 326 as the answer for, what did I get?
Test, surely.
I got this one, and I guessed that it was 326. Oh, because it's still day A. Okay, so let's change this to day B. Save that. And run day 7B again. Oops, it didn't save this. Let's save this. And I could set that to nil, but I don't have to because it's going to tell me the wrong number. So, according to this, the correct number should be there is this. So we'll put that in, save that, and then we will proceed. So now our tests all pass, and we'll go over here and fill in that answer, paste, and submit. And we got the right answer.
Ooh, blunders aside.
So we're now finished day 7.
That's the
So
valuable
let's go
lesson.
back and commit our code, and we're done for today. So
That's the valuable lesson. Always know your language.
yeah, and remember the rules of the language, especially the surprising ones. Okay, so finished day 7, 2 stars. Push that to the origin.
We picked the
And
right
commit.
cup. Took us a few swigs of poison first, but we picked the right cup.
Okay, so we're done. Once again, thank you for joining us on our discovery and our challenges. And hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.